For over a century, doctors have known that if wires are poked into the brain and an electric charge passes through them, there will be different responses from different parts of the brain. A wire poked into one part will cause a leg to move. The same wire poked into another part of the brain will cause an arm to twitch. 50 years ago, we knew that with the aid of electronic stimulation, doctors could induce pleasure, eradicate pain, and recall memories previously lost. With electrodes in position, the patient can be controlled quite effectively from a distance. He can be made to eat, to sleep, or to work. His appetite, heart rate, body temperature, and other factors can also be monitored and controlled. In one dramatic experiment, Dr. Delgado of the Yale University School of Medicine in America wired a bull with electrodes and then planted himself in the middle of a bull ring with a cape and a small radio transmitter. The bull charged but was stopped by Dr. Delgado pressing a button on his transmitter. The bull screeched to a halt inches away from Dr. Delgado. Similar experiments had even then been performed with human beings. It was Delgado and people like him who started the long, slow journey towards the control of the human body and human mind. There have, of course, always been two essentials for controlling people from a distance. First, you need a way to implant some sort of receiver in the human body. Over the years, the receivers available have got smaller and smaller. Today, people still think of microchips as being little things you can pick up and hold between your fingers. But some microchips are now way, way smaller than that. You can get a pile of the things on a fingernail. You could get one in a syringe and through the needle. You could get one in a spray and blow it up your nose. That's small. Second necessity is for a transmitter. And that's not difficult at all. You need a tall post of some kind, a flagpole or a tall building, or a pylon would do. And then you stick your transmitter on the top so that it can send out its messages over a wide area. That bit's easy. Something like a radio transmitter, or I suppose one of those things that sends signals to mobile phones. It would have to be a bit more sophisticated than the old mobile phone signals, of course. So that's all the equipment you need. A little chip in the body of the person you want to control, and a transmitter to send the messages. Say you were a really bad person and you wanted to control a whole population, for example. You could make people do whatever you wanted them to do. You could make them go shoplifting or commit murder or vote for somebody or commit suicide or anything you wanted them to do. If you wanted a smaller population, you could make everyone stop wanting to have children. If you wanted to do all this, you'd need to be very, very rich to start with, somebody with loads of money and lots of contacts. A billionaire, really, I suppose, and somebody with not too much in the way of morals. And you'd need something to inject into people. Ideally, you'd need them all to be frightened of something so that they were dead keen to let you inject them. And then you could put your tiny receivers into the stuff that was being injected, go easily through the needle. But that would be a tricky thing to organise, because you'd ideally need a threat of some kind. You could tell everyone they were going to get the plague or something if they didn't let you give them their wonderful antidote. But for that you'd have to have a big scare about something. And you'd need some experts and advisors, preferably somebody who had links to the companies making the stuff you were planning to give people. And you could promise them all sorts of things. And you'd probably need some fairly greedy and some compliant politicians too. You'd need to keep people separated so that you could make sure the messages you were transmitting reached the individual receivers. You'd have to have people standing several feet apart all the time, and there's no way you could get people to do that. So it couldn't possibly work, could it? Although it may feel like it at times, please remember, you're not on your own. More and more people are waking up. I firmly believe that together we will win this fight. And remember, distrust the government, avoid mass media, and fight the lies. Thank you for watching.